All right, it's the 24th of April, 2016. Fitting my patch up. So the trick with a patch is that it has to be strong, but it also has to be imperceptible. And so what I'm trying to do now is get the alignment of the edge of the outer sill so that it looks straight. And I think I'm there. So what I'm going to do now is I have to move this to drive a screw up through there. Obviously it's going to shift 18 gauge in, but at least that'll give me a good reference. So slow and fiddly. I hate slow and fiddly, but it is what it is. All right, so slowly sneaking up on it, as they say. So what I've been doing is I've got it so that the patch will slide underneath here. I think the first spot weld is here. Yep. And then I trimmed away some of the patch so that it only goes underneath it a little bit. Probably right underneath that tape line. And then on the back, I'm sneaking up on making this piece. I get this lined up with the marks, so I know that it's still square to the rest of the sill. And I've already done this once before, so I'm going to do it again, but I mark here. This is the inside of this panel, the edge of the flange, and so by cutting it like this, then that allows this all to sit in tight. And if I have to do fill welding, I can get backer and stuff here, and then this of course already has virtual backer because the closing panel is right behind there, although eventually that'll be filled up with glue. So I'm going to go ahead and take another cut at this and see if we're a little bit closer. If this all lines up and it's still straight, then I'll shoot some new holes across the bottom, here and here, and then what I'll do is I'll draw a line on here, and then that will be my flange reference, and I'll make it so that I have some wiggle room in the flange going this way, so then I can put my template up to it, and if I need to pull it out, that would stretch out that gap, and then if I have to push it in, that'll squeeze it in, but the flange gives me wiggle room across the top. All right, last update for the day. I got real work to get done. So I'm working the patch in. We've got it straight, parallel with the bottom of the outer sill. Trim this up so that these pieces lie flush. I cut a little slot here, and then with this all sitting in here, I drew this line that you can still see the remnants of, for where they overlapped, and then I marked a 1/4 inch up on the patch panel all the way across in a straight line parallel to the black line that I drew there, and then cut it off so it was straight. And then I used the flange tool. Oh, I cut a little slot there for the end of the flange, then worked the flange tool down it. I found that the gap, the flange size is 1/2 inch, and so this gives me again a 1/4 inch leeway either way. but by doing a straight line, it makes it a lot easier to use the flange tool because you can just push it up against the edge that I cut that's inside behind this piece right here, and that way you get a nice straight flange all the way across. And then down on this end, I cut a slot with the cut off wheel, and then use the saw to cut this. So these are able to lay flat, or will be able to shortly. Still, I just use the cutoff wheel to mark a line here that I'll finish that cut, and then these two ends will be able to be butt welded. Unfortunately, I kind of bent this end up here, putting in these the sheet metal screws that I use to hold everything together. So I'll have to hammer dolly that out to get it backed around. It matches pretty good with the template, but I need to bend the flange this way, so it'll lay more flush and let this project out more. But I think it's looking good and making good progress. It'd be nice to have a rotisserie for this kind of stuff, because laying down doing this kind of stuff sucks. But that's not in my plans.